Welcome, humans. Creative Assembly has deigned us with a blog post informing us that they have realized that they've made some mistakes. Let's talk about it. This is my co-host today, the dwarf Mikael.
Greetings.
But yes, let's read this blog post. Dear Total War fans, I'm Roger Kylam, Vice President at Creative Assembly and writing on behalf of our Total War leadership team. It has been a difficult few months and we recognize that we have made mistakes when it comes to our relationship with you all. It's been a constant conversation internally on how we can get back to solid ground. What's clear is that it won't be easy and that it will take effort and time. We see the confusion, the frustration, and the distrust of us across the community, and honestly, it breaks our hearts. We make games to bring you joy, to inspire a love of history, of fantasy, and strategy games. Total War is our everything. We care about it as deeply as you. Recently, it's clear that we have failed to demonstrate that in our actions. We are sorry. Oh, yo, bitches! This is important. CA actually apologized. They never say we're sorry. They always make excuses. They actually said we're sorry. That is important. Remember, they said they're sorry to you. It doesn't matter if it's hollow words. If it's real words, awesome. If it's not, doesn't matter. They still actually said, we are sorry.
Yeah, no, it's part and parcel these days of any game company to say, oh, we're sorry for your impression, for your experience.
Which is what they did for the whole debacle around the forums. But we cannot fix our issues overnight, but we will work towards a more transparent and consistent relationship with you all. Total War is a big and complex ship to steer, built on decades of knowledge, passion, and technology. The slow and steady pace we've taken up till now has been in the past, but today we see the need to react faster to help address the challenges that are ahead of us. So let's talk about those challenges and what you can expect from both Total War Warhammer 3 and Total War Pharaoh going forward. Total War Warhammer 3. We have listened to your feedback on Shadows of Change, and we know that we failed to meet your expectations of what a DLC should be. To address that, we are enhancing our offer for everyone who purchased Shadows of Change with more content and a commitment to ensuring that we better meet your expectations going forward. We're targeting a major update to Shadows of Change which will arrive free for everyone who owns it. We have the goal of releasing this update in February 2024, at which point it will become part of the package for everyone who buys it in the future. That launch date is our ambition, but this isn't concrete. It may move, and as soon as those plans are finalized, we'll let you know and we'll keep you in the know as we get closer to its release. When we return in the new year, you'll hear directly from game director Richard Aldridge and the Warhammer 3 team, who will start to talk to you about what this expansion to Shadows of Change will look like. Making this right is important to us. The words they used were a bit
vague.
Interesting. No, not vague. It's they said we'll be giving you a free update to Shadows of Change, and anyone who purchases Shadows of Change from that point onwards will be purchasing the whole thing like that. So really, we're getting the DLC everyone else will be buying later on whenever it comes out. So it's just, we realized the content we put out wasn't quite what you wanted. We're giving you more because of that. Hey, nice. So it is a free update. Anyone who buys it free later on, it's not a free update for you. It's just the DLC. And to do this properly, Thrones of Decay will move out of its intended release window of winter 2023. We're looking to launch this DLC in April 2024. We also have more work to do on Thrones of Decay to make sure that we don't repeat our mistakes and to give you the amount of content that you rightly expect from us at these price points. Once we've launched our free update to Shadows of Change, we'll talk more about what this next DLC will offer and how it will add to your experiences of Warhammer 3. We'll make sure that you know exactly what's coming in Thrones of Decay before pre-orders are available, and make sure that you have full transparency around the content before you see buy now buttons. Thrones of Decay is being delayed, like they said. It's a shame, it's a real shame, but legitimately, I am way happier to wait and get good product instead of getting it early and them needing to do what they're doing for Shadows of Change now, where they're adding stuff on to make it feel more worthwhile. when Shadows of Change came out, a lot of people were unhappy, and not just because of the price. They did feel like it was a lot less content. So if they're taking more time to do it really right with, specifically, this is going to get you excited, Empire, Dwarfs. Nurgle for me. Love you, Nurgle. But which factions do you enjoy playing?
I play the Empire and the Dwarves. Can you imagine?
Yeah, can you imagine that? Now, if you fucked up that DLC, how would you feel?
Oh, I feel pissed.
Exactly. And they fuck up Nurgle for me, and I'll lose my
but
shit.
there'd be a difference in that. Because I would have waited for literal years.
Yeah.
Multiple game series for a proper Empire update. Or Dwarf
it's
update.
not specifically that they're getting updates. Just to clarify, it's a DLC. It's not specifically an update.
I know.
I am... Okay, you don't know about this. This is a conspiracy theory that I have. You're getting one of my conspiracy theories. Okay, UNBO has the special states mechanic.
Yeah.
And it's actually really interesting and cool, and it's pretty strong, and it's fun, and it's part of what it makes him an absolute, just ridiculous OP lord. But it looks like it could be the framework for a new empire. And this is my conspiracy theory. UNBO's the test. So, do you know Torox from Warhammer 2, the Beastman? Torox, the Beastman? He's got this rage mechanic where he gets to go and move on after he's raised a settlement.
Yeah.
He was so clearly the testing grounds for Khorne. And Khorne's super fun to play. So this is something CA is known to do. Like, we've got Grom's Cauldron for Nurgle as well, which is like testing for the next thing. I think UNBO's states mechanic is the new Empire plan. If this is going to happen is a whole different thing, but for me, man, it looks like that's what's happening. And if it is, it's looking good for Empire, because that's a good
I'm
thing.
hoping. It might actually bring me back to the game.
Yeah, if it's cool, I'll let you know. If it's not, well, I'm not really an Empire player, so it's not my big loss, but if the Dwarves or Nurgle get fucked up. After Thrones of Decay release, we'll reveal what the next series of content for Warhammer 3 looks like. Our work on this beloved series isn't finished yet. Since 4.0 went live, we've changed up how we approach making updates to the game, releasing 10 hotfixes as well as patch 4.1, all targeting issues that we've seen emerging after subsequent update, as well as introducing new features like skill point resets that help balance and improve the core experience of playing the game. It's an increase in the number of game updates that we'd usually release, and we want to keep this cadence of releasing going forward. We can't commit to a fixed number of updates each month, as we'll ultimately release these based on the content that we're building and the issues we see you raising that need our attention. However, over these last few months, we've released a game update roughly every 2 weeks, and where we can, we'd like to stick to that through 2024. Total War Pharaoh. We want to make you aware of a decision that we've made internally surrounding the game and what to expect with the DLC that we've been working on. There's some important information here that affects all owners of the game, so please read through this part carefully. In the next few days, all current owners of Pharaoh will see that Steam has processed a partial refund to you and that some funds have been added to your Steam wallet. This is happening because we have lowered the price of the game to a new PRP of $39.99, $39.99, $29.99. Find out more about this over here. We don't think it's fair that our fans who put their trust in us on Pharaoh should in any way feel disadvantaged for buying the game at the previous price. We've also removed the higher priced editions of the game, the Deluxe Edition, the Dynasty Edition, only one edition of the game available for purchase. Our next update, and what was originally our first paid DLC, will release early in 2024 as a free update for everyone who owns the game. We'll have plenty to show you about this now free addition to Pharaoh in the new year. We have now begun the process of reassessing what comes next year for Pharaoh. And while we don't have all the answers today, we want to make it clear to you that we're not closing the door on other, more ambitious updates to the game in the future. We've still got big plans, but we want to be honest with you in that we need to spend more time with them before putting them out on show. Whilst we have removed the Dynasty edition of the game from our lineup and have internally changed up our plans for what we go on to do next, we'll still be releasing incremental updates to the game that help to bring fixes and changes to the core experience along the way.
If you jump straight to the price point change. the fact that the company is willing to actually change the price and then retroactively give back money.
We're talking about Total War Pharaoh. Yeah, that does seem really nice. I do like that they are refunding anyone. It takes a little bit of the money grubbing vibes one has gotten from CA lately. It helps with those a little bit, that they're refunding people who bought it at the higher price points. Agreed.
Yeah, and the fact that they also are giving the next DLC of that game as a FLC.
Total War Pharaoh.
Yeah, and again showing through action rather than through just words.
Okay. Before we sign off from today's blog, we're going to talk about how we can include more of your voices in what we do. We want to expose more of what we do behind the scenes. Our goal is to invest more in our players' channels moving forward. Introducing more voices from the studio who can speak to you directly about their work and how that relates to what you want from our titles, and most importantly, to keep listening to your feedback. This will all be a work in progress, so do bear with us, but this is our direction moving forward. We again apologize for the missteps we've made. The mistakes of Total War are a shared responsibility by all the leaders of the franchise, and while it may not seem like it at times, we are listening. We really hope that the extra love we're pouring into Warhammer 3 DLC, our several recent updates, and the changes for Pharaoh show our heartfelt commitment to these games and to you. We know we have a lot of work to do, and that this one letter doesn't amount to any proof of the future. You'll need to see the changes before you believe it. You will hear from us again on the changes coming to Shadows of Change and on what to expect for Pharaoh when we return from the holidays. And you'll continue to hear from us on the Total War leadership team once we've settled back into the flow of the new year. And we'll keep bringing you more news on where we're at. Where we make mistakes in this next part of our journey, we'll work hard to act faster to address them, to iterate whilst we learn from those moments, and to always be taking steps in the right directions. We hope that you can find patience for us as we find our footing again, and we hope in the coming months we can prove to you, with actions along with words. We hope you all enjoy peace. Yo, I'm gonna have my son shave you. Toodaloos!